Friday afternoon, heat shimmering off the turf, whistles screaming, cleats pounding like war drums. The Westbrook High School Tigers are midway through practice, and they look lost. No, that's wrong again! Coach Derek Holt, mid-30s, fresh haircut, expensive sunglasses, storms onto the field, state championship ring flashing on his finger. I don't care how it used to be run, this is my system now. The players drop their heads. That's when the gate creaks open. An 80-year-old man steps onto the field. Worn sneakers, faded school jacket, a body bent by time, but eyes still sharp. He carries a small clipboard, nothing fancy, just notes. He stands quietly near the sideline, out of the way. Coach Holt notices him. Hey! The whistle blares. What are you doing out here? The old man steps forward a half-inch. Name's Walter. I signed up to volunteer. Thought I'd help where I can. Coach Holt laughs. Not a warm laugh, a cruel one. Volunteer? He looks Walter up and down. Louder, mocking. This is high school football, not a retirement hobby. A few assistant coaches smirk. Some players look uncomfortable. Walter nods slowly. I understand, son. I'll just stay on the No! Coach Holt points aggressively toward the gate. Get off the field before you get hurt, Pops. Dead silence. The words hang in the air. A linebacker clenches his fists. A quarterback looks away in shame. Walter swallows. I just wanted to give back. This program meant a lot to me. Coach Holt steps closer. Ice cold. Then give back by leaving. Walter turns. Slowly, painfully. He starts walking toward the exit. That's when the offense lines up again. Coach Holt claps his hands. All right, trips right, Razor X, on 2. The snap. Chaos. Receivers collide, the tight end misses his block, the play falls apart in seconds. Coach Holt explodes. Are you kidding me? We've run this play 12 times. Walter stops walking. He turns back, looks at the formation. His eyes narrow, not in anger, in recognition. He takes a slow step toward the chalkboard. And the pause is short, 0.1 second pause. Walter stands frozen near the chalkboard. The broken play replays in his mind like muscle memory. That's not right. He raises one trembling hand. Coach, may I say something? Coach Holt whips around. You again? He looks at the assistants. Did we not just send him off? Walter keeps his voice calm. I don't mean any disrespect, but the tight end. Shut up! Coach Holt storms toward him. You don't tell me how to run my offense. He points at the chalkboard. You probably think football is still 3 yards in a cloud of dust. A few players snicker nervously. Walter nods. I coached once, long time ago. Coach Holt scoffs. Of course you did. He steps inches from Walter's face. Listen carefully, old man. These kids need speed, innovation, not dusty memories from the 70s. Walter looks at the players. The quarterback's hands are shaking. The tight end keeps glancing at the sideline, confused. Walter takes a breath. The route timing is off. If the tight end shifts left pre-snap, it opens the seam. Dead silence. Coach Holt's smile disappears. That's it. He grabs the clipboard from Walter's hands, lets it drop to the ground. Loud, humiliating, "You don't belong here." He points toward the gate again. "Get off my field!" Walter bends down slowly, picks up the clipboard. His hands shake. Tearfully but controlled. "I only wanted to help these boys succeed." Coach Holt turns his back on him, dismissive. "Practice." Pause. The offense lines up again. Same play, same confusion. Snap. Another failure. This time worse. The quarterback is sacked hard. Helmet hits turf. Players shouting, "QB down!" Pause. Walter steps forward instinctively. "Son?" Coach Holt spins, venomous. "I said leave!" Pause. Walter finally turns away. He walks, step by step, toward the exit. The players watch him go. Something feels wrong. Pause. Then, the quarterback suddenly sits up. He looks at Walter's back. "Wait!" Everyone freezes. Coach Holt glares. "What did you say?" The quarterback swallows. "Coach, the old guy's right. The seam's wide open." Dead silence. Coach Holt slowly turns toward Walter. His jaw tightens. Pause. Walter stops walking. Doesn't turn around yet. "And the..." He's short. 1 second pause. Walter stands still. The wind brushes his jacket. The field is silent. Coach Holt exhales sharply. "You hear that?" He looks at the quarterback. "So now we're taking advice from senior citizens?" The quarterback swallows hard. "I'm just saying, it's there every time." Coach Holt turns back to Walter. "Fine." He folds his arms. "You've got 30 seconds, Pops. Say your piece." Walter turns around slowly. No smile, no anger, just certainty. This play was never meant to be run from a static set. He walks to the chalkboard. Coach Holt starts to interrupt. Walter raises one finger. "Please, just watch." Walter picks up the chalk. His hand steadies. He draws one single line, a simple shift, nothing fancy. "I designed this play in 1974. A few assistants glance at each other. Walter continues, measured. "The tight end shifts left pre-snap. That forces the linebacker to declare coverage." He taps the board. "When he does, the seam opens. Every time." Coach Holt scoffs. "This is ridiculous." But something in his eyes flickers. Walter steps back. Quiet. "Run it once." Coach Holt hesitates. Then, "Fine, once." He turns to the team. "Trips right, razor X with the stupid shift." The tight end looks confused. Walter gently points. 2 steps left, then set. The tight end nods. They line up. The shift happens. The defense stirs. A linebacker slides half a step. Snap. The quarterback drops back. Time slows. The tight end cuts upfield, wide open. "Ball!" The pass is perfect. Catch, touchdown. Dead silence. No whistles, no cheers, just shock. The assistants stare at the chalkboard. One murmurs, "Wow, how did he see that?" Coach Holt doesn't speak. His jaw tightens. His confidence cracks just a little. Walter exhales. "Told you." The ball rolls to a stop in the end zone. No one moves. The players stare at each other, then at Walter. An assistant coach whispers, "That was perfect." Another nods slowly.
Coach Holt suddenly claps his hands. Yes, that's it. He steps forward quickly. See, that's what happens when you execute my system. Walter looks at him, doesn't argue, just lowers his eyes. I'm glad it worked. Coach Holt walks past Walter, straight into the middle of the huddle. All right, boys, you finally locked in. That shift, I've been waiting for you to get it. A few players exchange looks. The quarterback hesitates. Walter quietly turns back toward the sideline. He starts to walk away again. Slow steps. Heavy steps. Coach Holt notices. Hey! Walter stops. Coach Holt smirks. Beginner's luck. He leans in. Low voice. Enjoy it. That's the last time you touch my board. Walter nods. Yes, sir. He reaches the sideline, sits on the bench, hands folded, watching. Practice continues. Coach Holt keeps calling plays, but now they're all variations, shifts, motions, concepts. Walter recognizes every one. The offense improves rapidly. Crisp routes, clean blocks. The players start smiling again. An assistant coach whispers to Holt, Coach, where'd you get these adjustments? Coach Holt snaps back, film study. Walter watches quietly. He says nothing, but his eyes soften and then darken. A player jogs over to him, the tight end, nervous, respectful. Sir, have you always been this good? Walter smiles faintly. Once upon a time. The player hesitates. Curious. Why'd you stop coaching? Walter looks at the field, the empty bleachers. Soft, distant. They told me the game had passed me by. Coach Holt shouts, Hey, no distractions! The player runs off. Walter stays seated, still, patient. But somewhere, a clock has started ticking. Practice winds down. Players jog toward the locker room, laughing now, hope back in their voices. Walter rises slowly from the bench. He stretches his back, winces. Still, he smiles. Coach Holt gathers his assistants. See what happens when they finally listen? An assistant nods, distracted. His eyes are fixed on the stadium wall, the old wall, covered in faded plaques. He squints. Coach, that name up there. Coach Holt doesn't look. What about it? The assistant walks closer to the wall, runs his fingers over a gold plate. He reads aloud. Designed the Westbrook spread offense, 1974. Another assistant leans in. Below it, head coach Walter R. Mason. Coach Holt freezes. He turns slowly, looks from the plaque to the bench. Walter is standing beneath the wall, directly below his own name. Coach Holt's face drains of color. No, that's not... The athletic director steps onto the field, mid-50s, sharp suit, gravely voice. Walter? Walter turns. Tom. They shake hands. Coach Holt stiffens. Sir, is there a problem? The athletic director looks at him, then back at Walter. Proudly, you didn't tell me you were stopping by today, Coach Mason. The word coach echoes. The players slow their walk. They turn around. Whispers ripple. Coach Mason? The Mason? My dad talks about him. Coach Holt swallows, defensively. He was just volunteering. Walter gently raises a hand. I was. He looks at the players. I wanted to see if the game still had room for me. The athletic director chuckles. You built this program. He gestures to the field. You built the playbook they're still running. Coach Holt's jaw tightens. Reality crashes in. Walter looks at Holt. Not angry, Not smug, just disappointed. You didn't recognize your own foundation.
The field feels smaller now, like the walls are closing in. Coach Holt clears his throat. Well, that's a nice coincidence. No one laughs. The athletic director turns to him slowly. Coincidence? He gestures toward the wall. Coach Mason didn't just design one play, he built the entire offensive identity of this school. Holt's face tightens. With all due respect, sir, football evolves. We can't live in the past. Walter lowers his gaze, says nothing. The athletic director steps closer to Holt, quiet but deadly. You screamed at an 80-year-old volunteer. He leans in. You screamed at the man who put this program on the map. Dead silence. The players stop completely now. Helmets off, eyes locked. The quarterback steps forward. Nervous but brave. Coach, he helped us more in 5 minutes than we've had all week. A lineman nods. Honest. He treated us with respect. Coach Holt's voice cracks slightly. Angry, cornered. I was maintaining authority. Walter finally speaks. Authority isn't loud. He looks at the players. It's earned. Coach Holt exhales sharply. His shoulders slump. For the first time, he looks unsure. The athletic director straightens. Official. Coach Holt, my office, now. Holt hesitates, looks at Walter, then at the players, then at the wall. Pause. Longer. He nods, quietly, defeated. Yes, sir. He walks off the field, each step heavier than the last. Walter watches him go. No smile, no victory, just sadness. The athletic director turns back to Walter. I'm sorry. Walter shakes his head. It's not about me. He looks at the team. It never was. The sun dips lower. Shadows stretch across the field. The players stand awkwardly, unsure what to do without orders. The athletic director clears his throat. Practice is over, boys. No one moves. The quarterback steps forward, helmet tucked under his arm. Sir, can I ask you something? Walter looks at him. Of course. The boy swallows. Honestly, if you built all this, why did you leave? Walter takes a breath. His eyes drift to the bleachers, empty now, but not to him. I didn't leave because I wanted to. The players lean in. They said I was too slow, too old-fashioned, said the game had passed me by. He chuckles lightly. So, I stepped aside before bitterness could take root. A lineman frowns, confused. But you were right. Walter nods. I was once. The tight end speaks up. Curious. Then why come back now? Walter's voice lowers. Emotional, restrained. Because football isn't about plays. He taps his chest. Soft. It's about people. The athletic director watches him closely. Careful. You could have called me, asked for your job back. Walter shakes his head. I didn't want power. He looks at the kids. Quiet conviction. I wanted to see if respect still existed. The players exchange looks. Something shifts. The quarterback straightens. Firm. It does. One by one, the others nod. Walter smiles. This time, it reaches his eyes. The field is nearly empty now. Only the team remains. And Walter. The athletic director steps closer. His voice is softer than before. Walter, the boys listened to you. Walter nods. They listened to the game. The athletic director exhales. I made a mistake years ago, letting you walk away. Walter doesn't answer. He waits. The director continues. We need you. Walter looks surprised. Tom. The director raises a hand. Not as a figurehead, not as a mascot. He gestures toward the chalkboard. As a coach. The players' eyes widen. A murmur ripples through them. Walter looks at their faces. Young, hopeful, hungry. He shakes his head slowly. I'm 80. The quarterback steps forward. Then teach us how to think. A lineman adds, teach us what matters. Walter's throat tightens. He looks away. The athletic director speaks again. Coach Holt will remain head coach, for now. Walter turns back sharply. For now? The director nods, but his authority will be supervised. Walter studies him. If I come back, I won't be quiet. The director smiles faintly. I wouldn't expect you to be. Walter looks at the field one last time. The chalkboard, the end zone, the wall with his name. He takes a deep breath. All right. Monday afternoon. The locker room buzzes. Pads clatter, laughter echoes. Then, the door opens. Coach Holt walks in. No sunglasses, no swagger, just stiff. The room goes quiet. Players glance at each other. Behind him, Walter, carrying the same clipboard. Coach Holt clears his throat. Listen up. He pauses. The words stick. This is Coach Mason. A few players smile. Others straighten instantly. Walter gives a small nod. Afternoon, boys. Coach Holt continues. Coach Mason will be assisting with offensive concepts. Walter studies Holt, says nothing. Practice begins. The tension is thick. Coach Holt calls the first drill. Inside run, first team. The offense lines up. Walter watches quietly. He doesn't interrupt. He waits. The play collapses. Same issue. Timing. Spacing. Walter steps forward. Coach Holt stiffens. Walter doesn't look at him. He looks at the tight end. Soft but precise. One step sooner. Trust it. The tight end nods. They run it again. Clean, efficient, effective. Coach Holt exhales through his nose, says nothing. An assistant leans toward Holt. He's fixing things faster than we can coach them. Holt hears it. His jaw tightens. Walter turns to Holt. Do you want the why? Holt hesitates. The whole team watches. Finally, quiet, humbled. Yes. Walter picks up the chalk. Midweek practice. The sky is gray. Wind cuts across the field. The offense huddles. Coach Holt steps in first. We're running my script today. Walter stands a few feet back, silent, observing. Coach Holt calls the play. It's familiar, too familiar. The players exchange looks. Snap. The timing is off. Again. The linebacker blows it up. Whistle.
Coach Holt explodes. Execution! That's all this is! Walter steps forward. Not loud, not aggressive. May I ask a question? Holt ignores him, calls the same play again. Snap. Failure. Louder this time. The quarterback looks at Walter, then at Holt. His voice shakes, but holds. Coach, can we try it his way? Dead silence. Holt turns slowly. Excuse me? Walter raises a hand. This isn't about sides. He points at the defense. They're cheating inside. They know the look. Holt clenches his jaw. You're undermining me. Walter meets his eyes. I'm teaching them. Pause. Longer. The athletic director appears at the edge of the field, watching, not intervening. Pause. Holt looks around. The assistants, the players, every eye, waiting. Finally, run it. Pause. Walter steps in. Quick, clean. Shift the tight end. Half step, deeper drop. Pause. The players move with confidence now. Snap. Perfect pocket. Strike. First down. No cheers, just certainty. Pause. Holt exhales. Something breaks inside him. Pause. Walter turns to the team. You don't need permission to think. Pause. Holt hears that, and for the first time, he knows he's already lost them.
Friday night. Stadium lights burn white against the dark sky. The stands are packed, drums pounding, crowd roaring. Westbrook is down by 4, 2 minutes left. Rival team, season on the line. Coach Holt grips his headset, sweat beads on his forehead. Stay focused, stick to the plan. The quarterback jogs to the sideline. His eyes go past Holt, straight to Walter. Walter doesn't rush. He looks at the defense, counts silently. Holt snaps, "What do you see?" Walter answers calmly, "Fear." 4th and 1, ball on the 42. The crowd screams. Holt hesitates. Punt? Field position? His mouth opens. The quarterback speaks first. "Coach, let us run Mason right." The name hits like thunder. Assistants freeze. Holt stiffens. Walter steps closer. It's the first play I ever taught here. Holt looks at the field, at the kids, at the moment. Finally, run it. The huddle breaks. Walter watches from the sideline, hands behind his back. The offense lines up. The defense crowds the box. The tight end shifts left, exactly 1 step. Dead silence. Snap. The linebacker hesitates, just a breath. That's enough. The seam opens. The quarterback fires. Catch. First down. The crowd erupts. Momentum swings. Plays stack. Confidence surges. 30 seconds left. Ball on the 10. Down by 4. Holt looks at Walter. No anger now. No pride. Just a question. Walter nods once. Finish it. Snap. Play action. The tight end slips free. Touchdown. The stadium loses its mind. Helmets fly. Players scream. Holt sinks to the bench, overwhelmed. Walter closes his eyes, not in triumph, in peace. The field empties slowly. Fans still buzzing. Players hugging parents. Lights humming overhead. Walter stands alone near the sideline, watching the kids laugh. Coach Holt approaches. No headset, no clipboard, just a man. He stops in front of Walter, swallows hard. I was wrong. Walter doesn't answer right away. Holt continues. I thought respect came with the title. He shakes his head. I forgot it comes from listening. Walter finally speaks. You didn't fail because you were new. He looks Holt in the eyes. You failed because you stopped learning. The athletic director joins them. Coach Holt is asked to step down. Holt nods. I did. The director turns to Walter, hopeful. The head coaching position's open. Walter smiles faintly, shakes his head. Peaceful. No. The director blinks, surprised. No? Walter gestures toward the locker room. Soft. Give it to someone who's ready to listen. He turns to Holt, steady. That could still be you, someday. Holt's eyes fill. He nods. Weeks later, a new plaque is mounted on the wall. It reads, pause, slow. Legacy isn't about being the loudest voice. It's about building something that lasts. Pause. Below it, Walter R. Mason, coach, teacher, mentor. Pause. Walter walks away from the field. Slowly, calmly, not forgotten. Pause. Because the best coaches, pause, never really leave the game.